Hello, hello. Welcome, Amber. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
I'm so excited to be here, Jesse.
Yay. So, the first thing I want to ask is basically tell us who you are and what you do. What's your zone of genius?
So my name is Amber LaShawn, the long form, and I am a brand clarity coach that helps women to grow more confident in their ideas so that they can consistently create content that helps them to attract their dream customers and make more money because that's what we all really want within our business.
Yeah, I love that, especially because it can get so overwhelming creating content.
So overwhelming, and I make sure that I include that part about being confident in your ideas because I think that's one of the main components is really kind of getting debilitated by, ooh, is my audience going to like this? Does this look good enough? And you don't post it and you don't put yourself out there and market your business. And if you're not putting yourself out there, you're not going to be able to see that growth that you want for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So, how did you get here? Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you come to entrepreneurship and brand girl magic?
So I have quite a story. So my story began with being diagnosed with endometriosis. So if you don't know what endometriosis is, it's essentially a pelvic condition that impacts 1 out of 10 women where we have excruciating pelvic pain during and in between our periods. And back in 2017, I was diagnosed with stage 4, which is the most severe endo,
Wow.
and I just could not physically work any longer. And I'm talking at the time, I was in my dream job. So I was
Wow.
working in Major League Baseball and I was helping players and their wives build personal brands in the community. So it's like,
Wow.
I'm living the dream. I've got perks out of this world. Like, this is my life. And when I no longer could physically keep up with working 60-hour weeks and running around a stadium, which was physically demanding, I had to find something that was still going to allow me to use my zone of genius and use what made me happy. So instead of going back out and trying to find that career, I decided to make it for myself and use my magic to empower other women to do the same thing for themselves.
That is amazing. Wow, what a story.
It's been a journey. It's definitely something that was impactful. I knew entrepreneurship was going to be in my world at some point in my life, but I didn't think that would be until I had taken ownership of MLB and knocked down doors for women in a male dominated industry and for
Mm.
Black women in an industry where we are especially few and far between within the MLB. I wanted to break barriers. And so I knew entrepreneurship was going to come later, but the universe had other plans for
It
me.
had other plans. It was like right now.
Do it now. You have to quit your job, figure something out.
Yeah, wow. So how long have you been in business?
So, Brain Girl Magic has been around for the last 6 months. I began exploring entrepreneurship about a year ago. And this is where I want anybody to know that you have to do everything on your timing. So, after I got sick, while entrepreneurship initially came into my mind, it was not something that I embraced right away.
Mm.
I battled endometriosis, and then my dad passed a few months
Oh
later.
my
I
God.
realized I was not in the mental space to take on entrepreneurship. And that's something that we all have to remember on this journey is that our mindset is everything. And our mindset is going to be what sets the foundation for us moving forward. So I knew before going into this journey that I needed to heal myself physically and mentally so that I could show up as the best version of myself in entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. I say all the time, like, for you to really click into alignment in your business, you need the three things. You need the mindset, the business, and the spirituality. You need to like have all of them. Yeah.
1000%, and I'm living proof of it because in those moments where I am not in tune with what I have going on personally, I notice that my business has that impact. And it's
Mm.
something to remember that we have a choice with whatever it is that we're going through to either sit back and allow life to hand it to us or to consistently remember that Life will continuously have its ups and downs and its challenges. Our job on a daily basis is to recognize those challenges and decide what we are going to do about it. So I allow
Yeah.
pity parties to happen. And then after you throw the pity party, it's like, okay, what's the next step to move into our purpose?
Yeah, I always say you need like a good 24 hours to like feel sorry for yourself,
That's,
but then that's it. Like no
that's
more.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do. If not, you will lay down and you will watch other people achieve their goals and chase after their dreams, dreams that you have for yourself, but without any action. We
Mm,
won't see the progress that we want for ourselves. So we can only throw a pity party for so long. We can only say, why me, for so long.
yeah. So you mentioned some challenges where like what have been some of the biggest challenges in building your business and building your brand?
So one of the biggest challenges was owning my own magic, I say. So we
Mm,
enter this world where you see the gurus of success and you see how they've set up their business. They're giving you all of their teachings. You're looking at how they're running their business and you feel like you have to model yourself after that for the sake of finding success of your own. And I think that mindset comes from a corporate background and being in such a structured environment where the corporate ladder exists. These are your next steps. This is what you do. Boom, 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 boom. Here is the blueprint to success. And if anybody follows that, in a corporate environment, you will find some form of success. And I think the first thing I did was I entered the market, not, I feel like, being 1000% myself. I think I was at a 50% rate. I was only showing parts of who I was in fear that the other 50% of me was not going to be accepted, that people were not going to be receptive to me. And in doing that, I dimmed my own light. I dimmed my own magic. I found myself not enjoying my business. And I found myself saying yes to opportunities that I didn't really want to say yes to. And it was all going back to I didn't want to show up in my business because it was not a full reflection of me. So I think really making sure to own your own magic was one of the biggest lessons.
Authenticity is the name of the game. It's like you got to find the sweet spot between like not reinventing the wheel, but also doing things on your own terms and in your own way.
Yes,
So I
completely.
feel
Knowing that you're going to attract the people that are meant to be in your tribe. You don't want to just attract anybody at all. You not only do you want the certain traits of what their pain points are to be consistent for you, but you're also going to want them to be your people. So I tell clients all the time, if you don't want to sit at a table and eat with this person, then that person may not be in your audience. That person may not be for you because
Mhm.
that's the type of relationships that you want to think about when building your community.
I love that. That's a really great rule of thumb. If you don't want to eat a meal with them, then you probably don't want to work with them. Yeah.
Goodness, you spend so much time
Yeah.
with coaches, you spend so much time with clients, and if you are truly building community, then you're going to find yourself doing various things and you're going to need to show up for your people. But if that's just like, you know, in high school, the girl that you didn't really care for, you're not going to want to do the class projects with her.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. So tell me a bit about like what it's normally like to work with you.
Yeah, so right now we are in a major shift. I know, Jesse, we talked about all of this earlier, but I've started a second business, Saved by the Treats, which are CBD infused
I
edibles,
love it.
basically.
Yeah.
And it's really based off of treats really helping pulling me out of that endo phase. But because of that, Brain Girl Magic is in a major shift where I am reducing one-on-one work. So now working with me is all involved in an educational space and the membership that will be launching soon called Own Your Magic. And it is a full-on action-packed education space that gives you content ideas galore, teaches you how to actually come up with your own content ideas that are relevant to your business, and gives you the tools to make executing so much easier. So the membership is a great place to be able to get education and focus on action and not the frilly foo-foo pretty fluff that goes out there, but really actually taking action to grow your business and brand online.
I like that. You're very much like me. It's like you got to do half woo and half like tangible business
Has
stuff.
to be. Has to
Yeah.
be. a great mix and balance of it. And I found myself in a position where I was tired. I'm a course junkie. I love downloading courses. I love it all. And so I just got kind of tired of looking at things and saying, this did nothing for me. There was no action. Like, what am I supposed to do now once I have the information? What do I do now? And so I wanted to create a space that was, this is what you do now. Here's a challenge. Here's steps for you to actually take to be able to move yourself forward. So right now, when I do work with one-on-one clients, it's all about understanding you, really diving into your target market. That is the key to everything. If you can know your market like the back of your hand, and I don't mean just, oh, she wants to lose weight, but what are her deepest, darkest desires of your client? When you can understand that, then you can create endless amounts of content for your business that you're consistently marketing. But when you are in that space of not being confident in your business, not being confident in how you are presenting your business, and not knowing who your audience is, then obviously that content piece comes a lot harder. So when I do work with clients one-on-one, we spend a lot of time in that growing confident in your brand for what you are putting out yourself and what you are putting in, but also really focusing on what the target market is doing and what they need.
Oh yeah, it's like because people tend to speak in broad strokes, right? So it's like I want to make money, but what really people want is like I want to feel free. I want to be like location independent, or I want to be able to like treat my friends and family. It's going to mean something different to everybody, and that's why we need to dig in the specifics.
We all have our own definition of what freedom means, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have that. For me, freedom meant being free of a 9 to 5. Freedom meant if I am in pain from endometriosis that I get to grab my laptop and be on the computer, or I get to just close my computer and take a nap. All of that, if that is marketed to me versus just, oh, you're going to get loads of money from this. If you market to me that I would have the flexibility to be independent from a 9 to 5, that is going to resonate with me a lot more than just, hey, here's a 5K month for you. Here's
Right,
a
yeah,
month for
yeah.
you. It makes a lot difference. You really have to dig into the deepest, darkest desires of your market and what they're going through.
Yeah. And I know something like, and what I'm so excited for you to be talking about in this program, which I feel like so lucky because I know you're like, you're so juicy and like you have so much to offer. And like now you're like extra elusive because you're like not taking one-on-one. So I feel like extra like blessed. So what I'm excited for you to talk about is like really like consistency and what that looks like in this space, like in the space of balance, right? Because it's like consistency doesn't mean burnout. And a lot of people tend to think that consistency equals hustle. And that's not necessarily it. So give us some quick hits on like really like what consistency is about.
So consistency is about making a schedule that works for you and your audience and sticking to that schedule. You have to develop for you and your business your own rules of success. You've got to be like the horse on the racetrack and have your blinders on, turn everything off, don't get any inspo, and say, okay, what can I realistically handle? What do I have going on around me? So am I working a 9 to 5? Do I have children? What is it that you're facing and dealing with? We all have 24 hours in a day, but we do not all have the same 24 hours. So within that time, we're all dealing with different things. So you have to put your blinders on and decide, if I were to make a schedule for myself, what can I realistically stick to? So when clients ask, do I need to post 5 days a week on Instagram or 7 days a week? I heard that I need to post twice a day. No, you need to commit. So if you are going to choose that your schedule for Instagram is going to be, I'm going to show up for 3 days a week in my feed, and then I will be in my stories for 5 days a week, then you do that and you stick to that. You don't have to worry about what anybody else is doing. You have to make the plan that works for you. So once you make a plan and you know that that works with you, your schedule, your business, and your audience, and you stick into that, it's a great way to boost consistency. And then really paying attention to what your audience needs, because that's going to make creating content so much easier. Because when you get that engagement, interaction, your confidence boost, right? You feel better. You want to show up more because you're like, ooh, this is going to be a great conversation when I know when my potential customers and clients are going to respond to my story to want to expand this conversation, when they're going to comment back and they're going to want to expand this conversation. So choosing a schedule based off of what you can realistically commit to and really understanding your target market are two of the best ways to stay consistent.
Yeah, I love that. Bringing it full circle, right? Because it's like if you're trying to do what other people are doing, it's never going to work the same, right? Yeah, I
It's not
love
going to work
that.
for you. That's why the spreading of like I need to be everywhere on the internet, that's not realistic and sustainable for everyone. You have to choose what works for best for you and your audience time and time again.
And a lot of times, what we see from like these really successful business owners, we're seeing like their social media person, right? Like they've got a hired team to handle all of that. And so, like, we're not getting the, like, we're trying to measure our success and our plan according to like somebody's entire like payroll. Which,
Yes, I read a book recently. I can't remember. I don't know, remember what book this came out of. But I was reading a book and it was basically saying you cannot take what somebody that's rich, that has already found their level of success, you cannot take the same tactics that they are currently doing and apply that to your business. What you have to do is look deeper into their story and find out what they were doing when they were at your stage of business and find out how you can take the lessons that they learned from that stage and apply it versus just saying I'm going to apply what they do. Because if we take, you know, somebody large and they have this amazing team where they are on Instagram, they're running a Facebook group, they have Pinterest, they have this amazing email list, all of the stuff that people are actually executing for them, I'm pretty sure when they were a one-woman show that they were only on one or two of those platforms to start before they started to outsource. So we have to step back and say, okay, let me look at this person's journey and their story and not just where they are. And when we do that, we tend to see that a lot of the people that are finding success right now in the market have been in the game for 10 years.
right. Yeah. Yeah. You can't, that's why comparison never works. It's just, you can't do it, right? Amazing. Okay. So, Amber, where can everybody find you? How can they connect with you and like get a peep on all your goodies?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at Brand Girl Magic. You can also join me in my Facebook group, The Content Lounge. And then you can also visit my website, thatbrandgirlmagic.com.
I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. And I can't wait for your session inside of Embodied Abundance. It's going to be so good.
I cannot wait to do it. Thank you again for having me. This was a great time.
Awesome. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Bye.